resources, land-wise,
Yeah.
to meet that target?
So it should not be about the land size. It should be about productivity, which I always emphasize on productivity. So on the same space of land, you can use the right input, right hybrid seeds or improved seeds, and increase productivity, instead of clearing more lands. And so if we're to use Ogun State is total of 1.6 approximately. And so if we have deficit of 1.8 million hectares, that means the whole of Ogun State will still need about 200,000 so if we go the route we're going now of 1.8 tons per hectare, but if we move by 4 tons per hectare, what that means is that we would reduce the land size, which is where we should be looking at. And Oyo State is a bit safer, around that. But so when you look at the opportunities in the value chain, just for this year, to meet up with the deficit this year, we would use about 1 million. Being conservative, my dad is a chartered accountant, and he taught me to be conservative. So let's not use 1.8. Let's assume that we are using best of technology. We would use about 1 million hectares of land. We will spend 5 billion this year if we're able to meet that deficit. On seeds, we will spend 30 billion naira. On chemicals, we will spend 52 billion on fertilizer naira. We will spend tractor services, as in you come to rent tractors. You will spend 20 billion naira. On diesel alone, we would use 40 million liters of diesel. Now, so
but with all of this, with all of these budgets or quotes, do you think we can produce the type of rice that is competitive with international standard as well?
Okay, so I'll get to that now. So if we are going to export in 2 years, it will be assumed that we would produce enough rice to consume locally for 2020, 2021, 2022. So if you multiply that by 3, that means you would need like 3 million hectares. You cultivate 1 million hectares 3 times. We will be spending 15 billion in 3 years. So people need to know how much will be expended in the deficit, not what is already being produced. So 15 billion will be spent on seeds in 3 years, 90 billion on chemicals, 156 billion on fertilizers, 60 billion on tractor services, and 120 million liters of diesel. So if you're looking at what to do, this amount must be spent before we even talk about export. And this is still very conservative.
The private sector has got to come in, because I don't think the government
private sector has to come in, but has to come in the value chain approach, not just go and plant. Because before you plant, all those people have received their monies. And that's where you need to know where to pitch. And I'm seeing people, somebody called me that the person had 2 billion naira cash to push into anything, and they're considering rice. So I advised. Monday someone called me also, I have 300 million naira cash. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So there's cash in the country. So, but the question you asked, if we have the right rice, variety of rice, I would say that we need to adjust that paradigm, that line of thinking. We don't need to compete globally.
But we need to export.
Hold on. We need to, there's ground rice, which is a variety of rice. It's white, they blend it, it's like semo. We consume that heavily in the country. Like tuwo, but it's not like tuwo, it tastes different. So the thing is that we don't need to focus on the rice that we boil.
The type.
There are different types of rice. And the first thing is to focus local.
True.
So not just the rice that you boil and eat. The other types of rice that can be changed into different products. That you can use to produce biscuits. You can use to produce cereals. You can use to produce noodles. So those are the type of rice we need to first focus on. China developed by not focusing on Europe or Africa.
They did theirs.
South Africa during apartheid developed by focusing internally. So India is one of the largest focusing internally. So whoever wants to make money needs to focus internally
yeah.
and not looking at the external market first. And that's where the sustainability and the business opportunity. So while everybody is running into what you call the red ocean, others need to be looking at the blue ocean. And the blue oceans are rice that you can add value to, that you can export to. So in Chad and neighboring countries, they don't consume our type of rice. They consume the white type of rice. So if there's droughts, which climate change is affecting them, we need to prepare to export to them.
Let us go on a quick break. We're learning so much about these opportunities available and the need to grow agriculture. We have a long way to go, and with more people in the private sector who are willing to put their money where it is viable, I think the better, because like we always say on this program, we cannot wait for the government all the time.
Yes.
The private sector has got to come together to make sure that we do a lot of processing, production, and different things that we can also put together to make agriculture a booming economic significance to the country. Let us go on a quick break. When we come back, we will continue the conversation. We have African Farmer right here in the studio, and this is Agribusiness.
Least resource you need